So Instagram, you guys have spoken. What's up, you guys? I did a poll on Instagram and this dress won for me to remake from the Golden Globes. I'm so excited to remake this. What we're going to need for this dress, I think the material, by looking at it, it looks like taffeta, so I did order some taffeta, and then I had scuba knit on hand, which I thought would make the dress part. I got this material a long time ago and I don't remember how much it is, so it's basically free. Girl bad. And the taffeta, I think I spent about $31, which isn't bad for 7 yards. I thought it was gonna be way more expensive. And we're gonna need some polyfill. If you look closely to the dress, and I'll put it on the screen, the sleeve part I thought was just a bunch of flowers, but if you look close, it's actually a filled sleeve. And then there's flowers on top of it, so it makes it look fuller. We're gonna need some thread, cups, zipper, muslin, draping tape. This is gonna be so that we can line our dress form, and of course we're gonna need a dress form because this is how we're gonna make our pattern. So yeah, let's get into it, you guys. Huge disclaimer: I am a fashion designer. I take huge pride in my work. I'm not trying to copy this designer by any means. Nicole and Felicia, I believe the brand is. I'll put it up on the screen, but they did an amazing job on this gown. I'm using the draping tape as a guideline for the pieces that I want to make. So when draping your patterns, you're going to use muslin fabric, and on the grain, I'm pinning it here to the center front, and I'm going to be clipping as I pin, and this helps the fabric lay flat so you don't have any ripples and you have more accuracy in your pattern piece. After everything has been pinned and clipped, you're going to mark it with a pencil to outline the pattern piece. This will be my center front. And you're going to do this for each section, and here are all of our draped pieces, and we're going to add this to paper to make a pattern. Pin your muslin fabric onto paper, and you're going to use a tracing wheel to trace all those lines. This is just plain art paper that I have on hand, but they have pattern making paper on Amazon that has numbers on it, and those are usually better for making patterns. The tracing wheel is going to add a bunch of holes onto your paper, which is going to be your guideline to draw out your pattern. As you see here, I'm drawing out, and then I'm going to add a ½ inch around the whole pattern for my seam allowance, and that's going to be your sewing guideline. This is a mermaid style gown, so I marked where my knees are and just drew a line outwards to make the mermaid style at the bottom of the dress. So the next scenes, you guys, are going to be a bit choppy. I didn't film as much of the dress tutorial as I should have. I started this video in the beginning of January and then fell into like a deep sadness. I don't want to use the OD word, but I was overwhelmed with setting new goals and all this stuff. So I kind of stopped filming the tutorial of the dress. That didn't last for long, you guys. I got my spirits back up and everything's all good. We have our moments and we just gotta take that time for mental healing. But I filmed a vision board video and that's actually pretty good, you guys. You should check that out. In this clip, the dress is already fully put together and I am ready to sew the cape. I already had a cape pattern on hand, and that's going to be the train of J-Lo's rose robe. Today we're making a bra cup to sew to a dress. I already had my pattern pieces made, but if you want a tutorial on this, let me know. You always want to clip your fabric around round edges so that it lays flat when you steam it. I sewed the fabric down on my bra cup flipped it over to the right side, then steamed it. And then I sewed the cups onto my dress. Full tutorial of this dress coming soon. Happy sewing! Let's get into these rose petals, finally! I used my circle skirt to create this circle sleeve. I just adjusted the armhole so that it fits my arm, but if you want an in-depth tutorial on this, let me know. I just cut this out of lining and the self. I added elastic here to ruche up the armhole part. Then I flipped it over so I can make a top stitch over on the lining piece of fabric. Then we're going to stitch the bottom of the sleeve to close it. Turn it inside out, then stitch one side so we could stuff it with the polyfill. After it's fully stuffed, I stitched the other side to close the sleeve. And I just cut a bunch of 2-inch thick strips out of the leftover fabric I have to create the rose petals. As I'm demonstrating here, I just put a dab of hot glue, put one piece of fabric down, and just kept going around in a circle. This is a couture gown. You would usually want to hand sew this, but for time's sake, I just used the hot glue, and it still took a long time either way. Let me know what you guys think. Have you made roses out of fabric before? I think this actually came out pretty cool, and I'd like to do one of my own designs with hand sewn flowers. I love how this came out, you guys. What do you think? I'm so excited. It's not exactly the same, but I feel like it's pretty close and I feel fabulous. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.